Good morning again, everybody, and I hope you'll forgive me for doing two separate video recordings this week. As you may have surmised from your children when they've come home, we've had a few fire alarm issues this morning. Nothing major to contend with, but we did have a very persistent hour or two of fire alarm disruption, hence why I've had to split my normal blog and mentions into dispatches this week. So, with no further ado, very well done to all of the reception children for completing their firefighter training, says Mr. Clerk. Well done to Matt V from Mrs. Lambert for his work in maths, to Kieran Pantslin for his really good division work from Miss Smith, and in Year 4 also to Kieran again, William Nelson Bowling, Toby Haselton, Gregory Chung, Zach Borner-Allen and Zach Bland have worked really hard on their tackling in rugby, reports Mr. Lordy. Into 5F, Dexter Braithwaite's come up with a really good idea for team and took a lead in presenting the lesson with Miss Forbes. Josh Graham has given a really good articulate explanation of how to replace a noun with a subject pronoun and then link it to their French topic, reports Madame Swift. Hugo Hawksley is working hard in rugby, says Mr. Lordy. And Max Whiting has caught the eye of Mr. Clark for setting a new daily target for himself, a random act of kindness. He went in to see Mrs. Harding in the office recently, and just a nice moment to witness as both Max and Mrs. Harding felt very good after such a simple act to see how she was. And I know that some of his kindness is already beginning to rub off on those around him, so keep it up, Max and the rest of you. Well done to Torrin in 5S for his good maths work from Miss Sumners, and all of the Year 5 pupils for their creativity building their junk roller coasters. Well done to the girls in Year 6 who have really been listening and putting into practice the lessons learnt in the recent tea and talk sessions, says Mrs. Lindley. Frankie Larter, well done to you for being always happy and willing to help your teachers and classmates, says Madame Swift. To Will Baker, who has caught the eye of Mr. Barrett in science, Will Foster equally, and the entire form in 7BA for being very focused for Mrs. Weston in RS, and that is not to come by lightly, so well done to you. Zach Middleton, Stan Brockett Deacons, Ezra Oxley Wilson, really good French work. Darren Usa, 2 nominations, 1 for sending Miss Foster a lovely get well soon message, and also for stepping into a last minute role in the production and doing it fabulously. Freddie Taylor has caught the eye with his martial arts endeavour. Miss Black has been interested to hear Freddie telling her all about how he competes in local competitions. Jenton Atley and Sebastian Fasacci, both boys very encouraging to one another. Well done. Kishan, Gabriel and Alyssa, all of these 3 individuals have shown great respect and endeavour on a day-to-day basis, a real asset to 7BL and very good role models to boot. Gabriel Clark again for having very clearly listened to MiD last week. He's tidied up chairs in the classroom in his own time at the end of the lesson and previously been mentioned for a classmate for doing the same thing, so well done for following suit, reports Mrs. Hornstetter. Well done to Henry Rusco, working hard for Mrs. Lindley. Hanara Choi, Henry Rusco and Hussein Khan, lots of extra oomph for Mr. Barrett. Tristan Bush has competed in his first fencing tournament this weekend, the Surrey Youth Championships, representing Epsom in the under-12 boys foil. He won 5 matches on his way to the quarterfinals. Well done, Tristan, says Mr. Hendry. And Miss Patel, Lawrence Espede is working very hard in PE, says Mr. Westcott. And Harrison Wood has really caught the eye for Miss Bray, very impressed with his progress in creative writing. James Dowling, well done for your volunteering, making a PowerPoint presentation for the Love Languages competition for which he's received a commendation, says Madame Taylor. Enzo Reed having an excellent start to the term, says Miss Foster. Ed Collins for showing great respect and kindness when a friend was upset, says Miss Foster. And Charlie Wren, really impressive with the way that he has used technology to access his lessons remotely whilst on isolation, says Mr. Sitdeo. Theo Moffat, Avanish Gunjal, Connor Towers, Theo Jenkins, Zachary House and Ethan Carroll, well done for all of your work in production rehearsals and keeping abreast of your work. Well done to Connor Towers, completed all preps last week with 100% focus, and Arlo Saywell producing very good classics work for Mrs. Weston. Oliver Dimmock, well done for being cooperative and polite, reports Madame Taylor. And Mr. Clark would like to say well done to Priyank, who has not had a particularly consistent start to the term, but he is showing real resilience to remedy that, great determination to turn it around, really good character. Keep it up, Priyank. We're all on your side. Owen Courtney and seniors, well done for taking a lead in the writing for the script for 9B Assembly, says Miss Bray. Lucas Cressy and Bogdan Podrigora for their stagecraft work in Macbeth, says Mr. March. James Kilkenny, a positive start to GCSE English from Mr. March as well. Idris Ali Khan, 2 nominations for you this week. 1 from Mr. Sitdeo and 1 equally from Miss Black. So really good to see your improved work ethic. Into 9H, a big mention to all of the pupils who were involved in last week's assembly. Well done, particularly to Ted Bunya-Ames for organising it, Tommy Wood, Charlie Leonard, Fazan and Yvonne Tutar, who stepped in the last minute to cover for absentees. Mr. Hendry is very grateful to you. Well done to Ollie Ward and Henry Sweetman for your maths, says Mrs. Lindley. Ozzy Sullivan and Tarani have caught the eye of Mr. Sitdeo in Year 9 maths. They are both to be commended for their excellent attainment. 100% no less in their recent end of topic test. Marcus Glenn has caught the eye in 10H, being relentlessly cheerful, says Mrs. Hornstetter, when we complete the register in the morning. I love that. Relentlessly cheerful, Marcus. Long may it continue. Ted Rees, likewise, always tackling new things, trying to improve his ability, says Mrs. Lindley. Ethan Shee and Yejun Lee, healthy competition being injected by these two into the maths lessons for Mr. Sitdeo. Jack Bunya-Ames and Will Moffat stepped up this week as guides for visitors, and a very good job they did too. Well done to the artists in Year 10, Ethan Shee, Alex Hone, Tommy Collins, Ted Hartley, Ted Reed, Follow Ayeni and Nick Hill, inspired by the artist Jane Bevan, who has well over 2,000 followers on social media. She's retweeted 4 of their pieces of work, mentioned the school, and is very flattered that you have emulated her work, says Mrs. Wraith. Well done also to Nick Hill again for asking how Miss Foster is, seeing her around the school. It goes a long way to brightening up her day. Well done, Nick. Mr. Bailey would like to say well done to all of the boys in his form who are about to be or have been interviewed for sixth form places. And well done to Jack Beckman, particularly, who has succeeded in obtaining a second drama scholarship, already one at Claremont Fancourt and now one to Ewell Castle as well. So well done, Jack. You will have your pick. And likewise in Year 11B, 11W, Mrs. Lindley, very pleased with the Year 11 maths efforts. Owen Fisher, well done to you for getting a place at Woking College. Keep up the hard work. And Owen, likewise in music, real improvement for you and Sam Slaney in your confidence and ability, says Miss Foster. Sam Squire working hard with his move into a higher maths group. And Mrs. Edwards would like to say thank you and well done to the Year 11s for their maturity during the mock exams. And finally, well done to all of the prefects, senior prefects in particular, for their help in advance of what would have been the sixth form evening yesterday. But you will have a chance to reprise your efforts in the summer term. So lots to be very, very proud about, lots to be very pleased about. Well done to all of the boys and girls, a lot of whom are feeling the pace, I think it's fair to say. Well, after today, just 4 working days until a bit of an opportunity to have a reset, recalibrate, get some much needed energy and zest for what promises to be a very, very fruitful second half of term. In the meantime, I wish you a splendid weekend and look forward to seeing as many of you as possible at the production at Nescott Theatre next week. And finally, a very, very happy new year to all of our Chinese families and friends. It is the year of the tiger, and if we can have some of that animal's characteristic qualities to cope with some of the adversities that we're facing in Westminster and beyond, I'm sure that we'll all be the much better for it. Have a great weekend, everybody.